Hello, my name is Jay Bear, and welcome back to episode 20 of my survival series. And in the last episode, I built this building right behind me here. This is the building that goes around my iron farm, and I've done a little bit of work on it in between episodes since the last episode. And I added some buttons all over the building just to make it look like bricks, give it a little more texture. And if you remember, I wasn't real happy with the way the top looked. And so I changed that a little bit. I moved it back a block, extended these slabs across, and put some stairs on top to make a roof instead of just having slabs going up. So I like this a lot better. Right now it's just kind of a facade. It's only a couple blocks thick, and I might expand it back a little bit further to make it the full length of the building, but I'm much happier with the way that this building looks now. And then if we head inside, I also took care of the mess that was in here, which was really just a little bit with the floor and a little bit with the wall. And it's very empty in here, but that's okay. It doesn't really need anything in here. Maybe I'll do something with it eventually, but it's cleaner than it was, and that's what I wanted to get taken care of. And in the last episode, we also went and we got a donkey. Or was that the episode before? I don't know. Or the horses. I got the horses last time. Did I already have the donkey? I don't quite remember. But anyway, somebody gave me a name suggestion for my poor man's shulker box here. And his name is Jake. Sorry, Jake. I was trying to take the lead and I punched him. Poor Jake. Also, in between episodes, I added a roof onto the cactus-powered bone meal farm. And I wanted to be able to look inside and see the cactuses, so I used a mixture of glass. I also used some green glass and then some of the brown terracotta. But I wanted to maintain the checkerboard pattern look in my map. Like if you look at my mini map in the upper right corner, you can see that it's kind of a checkerboard pattern, and that was because of the way the cactuses are laid out. And so when I put the roof on, I kept that going. And instead of lighting it up, I covered it in string, so that way I wouldn't have to spam torches all over the place. That way we don't have anything spawning up here. Alright, so what I'm thinking about for this episode is I'm going to try to do some cleanup work. For example, we have the honey and honeycomb farm down here with all the bees, and I'd like to get some of this redstone all hidden away and just make this look a little bit nicer, because I'm not real happy with the way that this building looks. So I'd like to do some work on that. And then over here we have the villager trading hall, which looks like we might have too many villagers in there. Might have to take care of that as well. I've been having some lag recently, and I'm wondering if I have too many entities. I might need to do something about that. But anyway, this could use a building around it as well. And then over here, you can just barely see it, is the melon and pumpkin farm. And I could put a building around that. And then we've got this area right down here. Let me go down there. Okay, so we have this area right down here where we turn the kelp into dried kelp. And we have the switch that'll switch from bone meal mode to dried kelp mode. And all the water streams and everything. I'd like to put all of this inside of a building as well. Now, it'll maybe be an extension of this building. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Just because the redstone does butt right up against it and there's not a lot of extra room here. But I think that this should all be hidden away as well. And then there's just these other little areas like this that could really use a road or some steps to get down over to this side of my base. Because anytime I need to go off this way, I'm going down this narrow area of just grass, and it could really use a pathway. And same thing, like when I go over this way, is I have to cut through the villager trading hall. I can't fit a horse through here, so I can't ride horses to this side without going all the way around my base. So that's one thing I really want to be able to do, is make the entire area a little bit more horse friendly so I can ride them around. And we could really use a pathway that comes through here and gets me over this way into this area of my base as well. So I don't have to come all the way around like this. And the back of my sorting system, this needs closed in. So I have a lot of stuff like that that's just very, very messy stuff around that I would like to clean up. So I'm going to get started on that, and I think I'm going to start with the honey and honeycomb farm first. Okay, so this here is my bee building. Actually, this is a bee house, is what I had in mind for this building. And I know this is probably a lot more colorful than what you might have been expecting. It's a lot different from all of the other buildings that I've done so far in my world. And also, I'd like to point out that if my voice sounds a little bit different from the beginning of this video to now, it's because I have a new microphone. And I've got it all set up. I've already recorded one video completely on it, a creative video that I posted on Christmas. And I'm giving it a try on this video as well. So hopefully my voice now sounds better than it did before. So anyway, back to this building. So what I was going for here is I wanted it to look like this bee was breaking out of the top of this building, and I made it clear so that we could see bees flying around inside. Although currently there's one hanging out right here. There are no bees flying around in there, so I need to do something to encourage them up into this area. Maybe I need to breed some more, put some beehives up in there and some flowers to encourage them to go up into that part. And you know what the most disgusting sound in Minecraft is? Oh, the honey blocks. Oh, they sound so gross, don't they? But I really like doing this. You can slide down the side of them. So anyway, it's supposed to look like it's a building, of course, and that it is so full of honey and honeycomb that it is just bursting out all over the place. And I think I've got that general idea here, and it's flowing down into pools of honey on the ground. And if we step inside and take a look, I accidentally placed a block right there. I did the interior as well, so that way we've now got all the hoppers hidden behind all these trapdoors, and we've got honeycomb and honey dripping all over the place, and it's open into the bee up above. And it looks a little bit nicer than what I had before. And let's go around to the back. And this is the back. And I also did some landscaping around it. Well, with flowers and some bushes and things. Nothing huge, just a little bit of cleanup here and there. And I also did some hidden lighting underneath of the honey blocks since they're transparent. I could hide the torches underneath. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I know this is a lot different than anything else that I've built so far in my world, but I wanted something that is a little bit more colorful, a little bit more unique than what I've been building so far, all of these brick buildings. And I wish I had a little bit more space between it and the iron farm, but there's nothing I could do. They kind of had to touch just because I didn't have room between them, between the redstone and the iron farm. And one other thing that I need to do is I need to use my bone meal, or not my bone meal farm, my tree farm, because I just picked up some bone meal here. It's completely filled with bone meal and it's starting to overflow. So I'm going to go see how many logs I have right now, and then I'm going to run this through until all the bone meal's gone, and I want to see how many logs I get out of it. So for oak logs, I have 32 stacks plus 33. Spruce, I have 41 plus 13. Birch, I have 13 plus 10. And jungle, I have only 2 stacks plus 3. And I have no jungle saplings as far as I know. So let's go run the bone meal farm and see what we can get. Alright, so that 15-second clip you saw was about 30 minutes worth of running the automatic tree harvester, and it used up all of the bone meal that I had. And I did happen to find a couple jungle saplings, only 3, and it got me some logs, not that many though. What did I have before? 2 stacks and like 3 logs, I think. So let's see what we got. Alright, so we completely filled up that chest. And we got an extra 5 stacks. So we had about, 33 stacks here. That gave us quite a bit. And the spruce, we've got a whole chest and another almost half a chest. I did a lot of spruce. And then I did a little bit of birch. I think I had like this much birch. Now I've got 4 times as much. So that works really well. Just a half an hour of running that tree harvester, and I've just got a ton of wood. And so I'm gonna have to run it just every now and then, even if I don't need wood, so I don't run out of, or so I don't waste the bone meal, because it does overflow. Oh yeah, and I did plant this here. I just put down some cocoa plants because I needed some brown dye when making the bee. This is not to be a permanent feature here, but I should build a farm sometime for these plants. But anyway, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go over here and get Jake. He had to be leashed because he kept trying to get in the video there when I was showing the logs, what I had harvested. So we're going to go over here. I don't really come over this side that much. And there's 2 things I want to do. One thing I did do in between episodes, well, actually it was in between clips, is I get rid of some of the cows. There was a lot of entities, and I did get rid of some of the villagers because I was having some lag problems, and my frames were dropping down to like 1 or 2 frames per second. That was happening like every 30 seconds. And I thought, well, maybe I've got too many entities. So I went around and got rid of some. I took down a bunch of the item frames that I wasn't using in my storage system. It didn't help. So I searched all of the internet, and I found all these big complicated solutions that I didn't understand. And my thinking was, well, it worked fine a couple days ago. Why is it so laggy now? And one guy that had my same video card, he said to unplug it and plug it back in. So I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and you know what? Of all things, that took care of my problem. Are these guys breeding? They're getting lightning bolts and love hearts. They should not be breeding because this system is turned off. I don't want any more villagers right now. I've got plenty of them down in here. But anyway, this is what I'm going to work on now, is I'm going to do something about the cows. It's time that we move them from this location. I have probably all the leather that I'm ever going to need. I have plenty of steak, and eventually I'm going to run out of the steak, and I'm going to start eating golden carrots. I just don't want to waste the steak that I do have. So yeah, the cow area there needs to go away. Maybe I'll just set the cows free and let them roam because I don't really need them anymore. And I'm going to put a building around this villager breeder here. All right, so I was up there working on the building around the villager breeder, and I noticed on my mini-map something that looked like a villager. And so I dug down here and I found this guy. He looks like a librarian. So I went up and I got a golden apple and a splash potion, and I don't know. Oh, I checked my villager trading hall, and no one is missing. So this is kind of a little perplexing here. So we're going to go ahead and try to convert him. And let's see if he's got any trades. If he was once one of my villagers, I don't know. It's kind of weird. I just happened to notice this guy down here. But I'm going to go back up top and I'll show you the status of where I'm at with building here. And we'll just leave him in this hole for now, and I'll come back down and visit him later. Alright, and so as you saw from the time lapse, this is where I'm at so far with this building around the village breeder. And it's got a lot more work left. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it in this episode because I don't really have much time left. The inside of it, I really haven't done much of anything. In fact, there's a giant hole in the floor over here. There's got to be a lot more work that goes into this, but eventually what I'm going to do is remove this glass container around these villagers so that they'll have this room to walk around in. They'll have a little bit more space. Maybe I will turn this into farmland as well. I know it's kind of strange having a farm inside of a house, but hey, this is Minecraft. We can do whatever we want, right? And then down here, I took this container that these guys are in and just turned it all into glass. Has a glass floor now, and surrounded it with black stone so it looks like some type of science experiment going on. They're all trapped in there anyways, and so it's kind of a weird place for villagers to be stuck. So I just went with that weirdness and made it even more weird. I'm not quite sure what the building is going to look like back here around the villagers. I'm happy with the way this looks. It does need more detail. Like I said, it needs lit up, and I want to do something on for the windows. Maybe that will just have like either black concrete or maybe yellow concrete that's lit up so it kind of looks like a warm glow coming from inside the building. I don't know. I'll see about that. But I'm going to check on that villager in a few minutes here and see if he has converted back and see if he was anybody that mattered. I just think it's kind of weird that I just found this villager down here underground. So like if you look at my mini map, you can see up in the upper right corner, there's a black blob there. And that's telling me that there's something down underground, and the shape of it looked like a villager with a profession. So I'm like, well, what is that down there? So that's what I was curious about. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for him to convert, and we will see if he was anybody that was important. Okay, so he has converted back to a normal villager, and he has no trades. So I guess he was not a villager that mattered at all. Maybe he was one that escaped from my village breeder somehow, ended up down here in this cave, or maybe he was just a zombie villager that spawned naturally. I don't know, but I am not going to try to rescue this guy from here, so we will take care of him. Okay, well, he has been sent off to the villager retirement home. And I think that's it for this episode. I really don't have time to do a whole lot more here today on this building. So I will probably work on this a little bit in between episodes, and I will show you what this building looks like when we resume in episode 21. So this episode was just kind of a little bit of cleanup work. We built the B building back there, which I'm pretty happy with. I really like being able to look over there and see the giant bee peeking up over top of the villager trading hall. And we started work on this building around the village breeder. And this one is quite a big, complicated build. Like a lot of the other big buildings that I've done so far, they really haven't been as detailed and intricate as this one. Words are hard. So this one's going to take me a little bit longer to build. And I'm really used to using World Edit to build a building like this, and to be able to do some of these things automatically just with using World Edit. But anyway, as I said, that's all I have time for in this episode. So if you liked it, please leave a like and a comment. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you next time.